That man, yo, listen. Okay, look, this is a big reflection on Hollywood, right? Like, how is this? This is ridiculous. Like, so first of all, Will Smith stays there.
Yeah.
Right, after just publicly assaulting man and then cussing like he did on TV, like a little 2-year-old, right?
Yeah.
He sits there, they have the ceremony, they award him an award, people stand up and clap for him, and then he gives us some deadbeat speech about how love makes you do crazy things and...
Bruh,
how
he was trying to save himself.
Like, how, in what world is that acceptable?
I guess in Hollywood, man.
What does that say about that? Like, this is what I was like. What does that say about Hollywood? Everyone was quiet about Mr. Weinstein, acting like they didn't know. Everybody knew what was going on with Mr. Weinstein. Like, they just couldn't speak, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows the atrocities that happen in Hollywood. Like, you know, people have spoken about the child molestation and, you know, exploitation of individuals in that industry. And then there they are. The lot of them. I know a few people have come out and spoken out, but a lot of them, they stood up and they clapped him as he went and got his award, and they sympathized with him as he was making his speech. Wow.
I mean, I'm kind of with Jim Carrey here.
Yeah.
When he said, like, they're all pretty much spineless. They're all spineless. They were not gonna do anything. I don't know, like, trying to hold on to some kind of integrity, some Hollywood integrity, we stand for values of protecting and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Well, and the next time they're gonna give us speeches about how we need to, you know, be good to black women or actors or save the planet or they're only eating vegan. They got a vegan menu only on some kind of high moral ground. I ain't trying to hear it from them. I'm not. Oh, I mean, look. If you really listen to actors and people from Hollywood before, I think your compass might have been a bit skewed. But like, you know, I'm not, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I know there are certain individuals in that industry that would probably stand out against certain behaviors. You know, sure. So I don't want to paint everybody with a whole brush, but I mean the majority,
bro.
The majority of people, oh man. So that's what happened. And then, you know, I think of like Chris Rock, and I'm like,
what do you think about Chris Rock?
Damn, bruh. He just got slapped on stage like that.
Chish.
And what has he said? What has he done? Have you heard much from that side?
So what I've heard so far is that because he's meant to go. He's going on. This is even before the Oscars. He's going on. What's this? You know when comedians go on road?
Comedy tour.
He's going on a comedy tour.
Yeah.
And ironically, it's called Ego Death. So I mean, he could work some of this material in there because you know it's kind of ego destroying.
But I tell you what, ego shattering, bro.
ego destruction.
Ego destruction.
Ego obliteration. Bro.
Annihilation of the ego. Complete 0%.
Decimation of the ego, my friend.
Oh, they fractured him. Fractured him.
Yeah. So apparently his shows are sold out now. And apparently the tickets went up as soon as that happened. But he, from his side, I've heard like after it happened, he wasn't gonna press charges. Like he actually said he wasn't gonna press charges. I think he was more of like, okay, I'm a comedian and this does happen from now to then. Like obviously they'll have like some heckler or someone who didn't like a joke.
Yeah.
At some point in their career, most comedians have had like someone come up to them and say as if they've got a problem with them or punch them in the face or something happens, right? But obviously he wasn't expecting it from like...
I'm sure he wasn't.
For it to happen at the Oscars and from like one of the biggest actors...
Superstars in the industry,
ever, you know what I mean? So he hasn't really said much about it. He said he's gonna maybe speak. He's gonna have to speak about it, obviously, during this tour, innit? But from what I've heard, he's not really pressing charges. He's not really moving forward with any legal charges like that. So I don't know. But he took that slap like a G.
He took it like a G.
He took it like a G. Listen,
He took it like a G.
So this is part of the reason that I think it could be fake. Cause why was his hands behind? While someone whose wife you just made a joke about is approaching you. No, that's gonna mislead people if you say
insulting. Yeah. Okay, no, that is true. That it wasn't an insult. It's
he was telling jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Fair enough.
It was just a joke.
True.
So why is his hands behind his behind like that?
When you see somebody moving up on you like that,
I'm
you're like, okay,
whoa.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Let me protect my space. Yeah. Let me give you at least some kind of warning sign, like, okay, you're about to invade my personal space. It's just natural, right? It should be natural for someone to do like that, or to take a step back at least. You know what I mean?
But he stands there like this. Yeah. He's waiting for it. He said, "Come slap me."
Smiling and stuff. Oh my god! You should see the memes that have come from this, bro. The amount of memes that people have
seen
made.
A few. I've seen obviously it's gonna blow up.
It's magical. That's all I can say.
I need to watch more of them.
It's magical, bro. You should see them. You should see them. There's one where Will Smith slaps Thanos. You know that scene where they're fighting and then Doctor Strange is like, I think you'll find our will. I haven't
watched that film. Yeah.
Call yourself a movie.
I'm not. You see, I'm not a Marvel fan. I'm not. I'm really not. I like DC a lot more, but I mean, I did like Spider-Man.
All right, cool.
With Tobey Maguire's one. I enjoyed the last one actually that just came out. I didn't think it was that great.
Oh, okay.
But the first two with this new kid, what's his name? Was it Tom Holland?
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Yeah, I thought they were decent. I like that.
Cool.
Captain America, I think it was the first one. I really enjoyed it when his transformation, when he's going into the war, and his transformation into Captain America. I thought that was good. Black Panther, I thought was alright.
Overhyped?
Oh, way overhyped too much.
Right. Understandably overhyped, but still overhyped.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good film, but when politics and stuff get into this is what there's always been a problem with films and art. I guess art in general. You know, yes, there are politics at play, but I think the politics of that movie clouded people's actual judgment of the movie. Ooh. Meaning, it was a great film, but because it was such a breakthrough step for, I guess, black actors, black filmmaking, you know, the support that it received and all of that kind of fueled the hype that people are getting, and it kind of, I think it clouded people's judgment.
Oh, right.
That got an Oscar nomination.
What was the Oscar nomination for? Was it for Best Picture?
Or something like that. Best Picture. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just thought, wow, well, okay.
You thought it was a token or one, didn't you?
It is, right? It is. It's and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a token award, because there's a habit of doing so in life. Oh yeah, it's a black movie. What black people you don't want token awards. You want an award that you've earned. And I'm not saying it wasn't a good film, and I'm not saying that it had to break. Well, I don't agree that it was an Oscar nomination film. Let me just put it that way.
No.
But if it feels like if you're speaking against Black Panther, and if you say it's not a good film, you kind of speaking against black people.
Yeah, you don't like black people. Huh?
Yeah. You're like, what?
I said it was an okay movie, right? Leave me alone.
Yeah, but otherwise, not much of a Marvel fan.
Fair enough. I mean, I hate that as well when people try to be political. Not just about their movies, but when the movie itself kind of has a political thing, like a political.
It's like a cloud or a shadow over it.
It's like Captain Marvel, for example. Captain Marvel. Compare Captain Marvel to, say, Wonder Woman. There's a reason why Wonder Woman worked and Captain Marvel didn't. Wonder Woman was not all up in your face saying that, oh yeah, you're toxically masculine and I'm Wonder Woman, the perfect, woman who's better than a man and is above a man and is stronger than a man and doesn't need to like grow as a character and like find her own develop her own reason for her actions. You know what I mean? Whereas someone like Carol Danvern, is that her name? Carol Danvers from Mrs. Marvel, Captain Marvel.
What's her name?
Carol or something.
The character name of the actress.
Okay, the actress is Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Yeah,
she's apparently unlikable in real life as well.
Is it?
Apparently, but it was Captain Marvel was just all in your face about pointing out the patriarchy and fighting the patriarchy type thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it didn't work the way Wonder Woman worked. Wonder Woman worked. It like her character was so compelling. Like you could see her going from a naive Amazonian to someone who actually understands.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first. I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman actually.
Yeah,
I really did.
It was actually a good movie. It actually worked as well compared to Captain Marvel.
So because I haven't watched Captain Marvel. So I don't have an interest in watching it, if I'm being quite honest.
Okay.
But I can imagine, it makes so much sense when you're saying that political cloud or some type of political agenda, maybe.
Yeah, political agendas.
It's a better term that clouds the movie, because I think there's some kind of misconception. I don't know what the misconception is, but like, I know some people, men are different, and like everyone's different, so it's very difficult. But I don't want to go watch supportive film like Captain Marvel, right? I wouldn't watch any film that told me to watch it for whatever reasons. If I like a movie, I'm gonna watch it, whether it's a man, woman, whatever. I don't give a damn.
Cool.
I don't judge my movies whether I'm gonna watch it or support it based on whether the actor is black or it's a female lead or it's that's not how I judge my movies. But if I was to go watch Captain Marvel, right, in order to support it, and I haven't seen it, and just going from your brief description, I've got to sit and watch this movie that's ramming down my throat for the next hour and 45 minutes on how rubbish men are and how brilliant women are. I'm like, you know what, I'm out. This is the last time I'm doing this. I'm not going to support. You see this female thing? You see? I'm not going to do it because they're just going to insult me throughout the whole movie.
The whole movie. Literally, right? Literally. It's ridiculous, man. And they think, I don't know, they think they're trying to... I think they think they're pointing out something that no one else or other people are either trying not to see. At least they think we're trying not to see that women can do, I don't want to say women can do anything men can do, but like women have their own strengths as well as how men have their own strengths.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You don't need to become a better man. Just be a woman. Be a better woman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Be a woman. Don't try to be a better man.
It almost feels like that movement, like, a lot of what's happening with the, empowering women.
Yeah, women
seems like women are just trying to be men.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. And it's quite contradictory because, like, I'm all for it. I'm all supporting, like, women have different strengths.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But, like, now they're trying to be men. They're trying to do things that men do. Like, you're not. It doesn't look the same. That's not empowerment.
Yeah.
It's false empowerment. Like, I'll give you an example with race. A lot of black people, especially in South Africa, they feel like in order to be equal human beings or whatever, because of our past and history, they have to be white. So they're trying to do they're trying to be white. Now, I don't mean that in like preferences, like because sometimes you go to certain schools, you grow up in a certain way. Because there's a very fine line between saying somebody's trying to be white and what their preferences are, just because you listen to certain music. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it can be like a way to like insult someone
exactly
who's black by saying, "Oh, you're trying to be white."
Yeah.
By listening to rock music.
Yeah, exactly. That's not what I mean in this situation. But like they do that, like how some people are only. I've heard some guy say, I only date white women. I'm like, what? Like, but you're black, like your mother's black too.
Yeah,
but
you don't like your mother.
Black women, like Yeah. But the only date, but like that was something that happened for people. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to date the white guy, the white girl, or I'm going to hang with the white kids, because it was a form of empowerment. Like in Malcolm X, you know that scene where Denzel sleeps with the white woman and he tells her to suck her to his feet, or having power over over women, and
don't revoke my black card, but I've not seen that movie.
You haven't seen it? No, you haven't. It's long.
I think I've seen parts of it. I've seen the part where it's like he's in jail and he starts reading and stuff, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
It's a good film.
Yeah,
it's a good film. I like Spike Lee films. It's long.
Yeah. Nah, Spike Lee's the one, man. He does make some good music, some movies.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah,
like.
I think did he make the Black Clansman?
Black Clansman.
That was hilarious, man.
Oh, I died.
Oh god, that had me in stitches.
I died there. I died there. But yeah, going back to what you're saying with the women empowerment, that's kind of like the race. I think what they're doing, like, it's similar to race in that sense. Women are trying to be, not all of them, but like it feels like they're trying to do manly stuff in the guise that it's some type of empowerment. I don't know, like, what you think of there, like, but that's not good.
Yeah, because like some people will say that it's almost like become an overcorrection. Like it's gone. Like we've tried to, at least in the West, they've tried to strive for equality so much that they've overshot their target. I think now, like, they're saying that there's more women in universities, more women are earning more money than most guys. Having degrees, being, I think there's like more affirmative actions for women, and just like stuff like that. So like now, men seem to be, unless they said like, because I think when people, or like when okay, I don't say most, but I'm just gonna say it just because it's the first thing I can say in it. When most people talk about equality, they're trying to be equal to the people at the top. That's why they're like, oh, how come there's not as many female CEOs than like compared to men? But it's like, why would you even want to do that? Like most men don't even want to become CEOs.
That's an interesting point. Actually,
you know what I mean?
Say that. Yeah.
So it's like, why? Like, why don't you? I don't know. Go for something. No, I can't say aim low, because I don't want to, crush someone's ambition and be like, oh, you don't aim high, aim low. That's not what I mean. I just mean like, do you want equality or do you just want power? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you want equality or do you want power? Because most men don't have the power that you think that every man has. Yeah. Like, it's not like that. Like, it's a misconception that's kind of become like this. I don't know. Like, they've made this like mythological.
All men
enemy,
are CEOs.
Masculine enemy. Yeah.
All men are earning millions. Right. All men are like this. No, not really. Actually, for a lot of men, life is pretty tough.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. If you think about the people who are at the very bottom, they're men. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Like, is it equality or is it actually it's our turn to be superior now? So
And you know what? Like, Jordan Peterson says something interesting about it. But like, I think, and if it is an overcorrection, I'm okay with that. I understand that in order to find a middle happy spot, sometimes maybe you have to go. Yeah, you have to overshoot it. True. And in the name of change and with genuinely wanting the best for women and the best, because better women is a better society.
Oh yeah.
Like, just as better men, better society. We work together, no doubt. So, in that, because there has been a phase where females have been oppressed. Yeah. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of something else.
I was gonna say, women oppression is hilarious to
you. I've just had a thought of something else, like, and that thought was like, during slave times and oppression, a lot of these men were supported by women. How come nobody talks about them times? Like, we were so oppressed when you were dating slave owners, back in them days, right?
Sarah was like, "Oh, Thomas, can you ask what was the slave's name? I don't know, Jeff or I don't know.
Oh,
Toby, Kunta Kinte,
King Kunta,
cut the grass, bitch."
Like that. I mean, that's something that we need to like. That's something I find so interesting. Like it's often not talked about.
Yeah.
But throughout history, you know, and civilizations, like these men weren't dating themselves.
Exactly.
Now everybody's turning their nose up.
Yeah.
But like, how come? What about? Hey, yo.
Yeah.
So
you have this white woman screaming, "What? You're a white male. You're a white straight man. Okay, you are the oppressor."
Wow.
Like, bitch, we just had dinner last night. Okay? What do you mean? Okay. You was there with me.
You were there. What are you talking about? Like, what are you going on about? But so because of that, and I'm not talking about that category. Because of that, the oppression that women have gone through, I can and I think people should be willing to deal with a bit of overcorrection in order to find the right.
So you mean men should be able to deal with this? Because I think men are pretty much the only ones. I would. Do
men have a problem with this? I guess
I don't really know. You know, like who else would have a problem with it?
Like
women. Why would women have a problem with it?
They wouldn't. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But go on.
I don't know. I'm just thinking. I don't know if men really want women to stay up like as people that are just you. Well, and I'm not undermining anyone that wants to just be a stay-at-home mom or anything like that. But
that's another thing. Like why do it's not even men, women shame other women who want to be stay-at-home.
Yeah, they're like, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
you're messing up our movement here.
You're better than that, okay? Okay, you should get a job or something, Get your money, get your bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't need a man.
You don't need no man.
You don't need what?
Until you want a child, then maybe you can adopt or you can have them impregnate you, but then, forget them.
That's a whole nother complication, because then like people are like, oh yeah, I don't need a husband or man, like I'll have a baby and you won't have a father, and then you're like, oh my goodness.
Does that really is that conducive to raising
a child, right? Like
who knows?
So yeah,
that's another argument. So you're saying it's tricky.
It's tricky.
Because that is true. Because I think probably a couple years ago, when I used to do research for this podcast, I think we planned on having this girl on who is a feminist, right? So I just did a little research and it showed like there's different phases to the whole women movement, right? So the first phase was like, we want the right to vote as well, and then it was we want sexual rights, rights or reproductive rights, basically, innit? But it was
what did that mean?
It was white women though that was doing that. Yeah. So then the sisters had to form their own movement, which kind of coincided with the civil rights movement, because obviously blacks didn't have the same rights as the whites did, so it wasn't the same movement. So I think the first wave of feminism that was led by pretty much white women didn't really include much of like the racial aspect of it. So I think that's when like the civil rights movement followed up, and then came intersectional feminists. Have you heard about intersectional feminists?
I haven't.
So basically, intersectional feminists say oppression happens or also happens at intersections. So you can be oppressed as a female and also oppressed as a black female. So like they experience oppression on that intersection.
Okay.
So by gender and
by race. Yeah.
So that's where that movement came in.
Okay.
The black feminists.
This is the first time I'm hearing. No, I didn't know
about
that.
It was interesting. Like that's all I can remember from it. But I thought that was interesting. So like, I don't know what you want to take from that. Like,
it does make sense. Like, I mean, I'm trying to deal with that term as well. But you would think it's logical. My first thought was like, oh yeah, of course. Like that's. Do we need to explain this?
Yeah.
Like, does this need to be like written out in black and white for us to know that? Because there are levels, like oppression as woman, but like oppression as a black woman, like,
bruh,
like that's on a different level. So they call it intersectional.
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 Yeah, so intersectional.
Feminism.
feminists, yeah, the intersectional feminists, basically.
Wow, yeah, I'm surprised that you even had to explain that because, yeah, it just seems so basic to me. It seems like, of course.
Well, of course they will be.
So, I mean, what was the, I don't know how much you know about it, but like, the impact for black women with the first couple phases of feminism? Like, was it just, were they fighting for female rights, or were they fighting for female rights that didn't really care about black people? Like, how, what?
I think, okay, so I wish I maybe read more on this. So most of this is gonna be convoluted kind of thoughts from what I can remember.
Yeah.
So I mean the impact on it, like so the thing is like, okay, so the first wave of feminists, so this is me, I think I saw some black women describing it or talking about it like this, like the first wave of feminists pretty much just used the black women as a way to kind of like rally their troops, you know what I mean? Like, okay, we've got more troops to fight with.
Yeah.
So with that, there wasn't really concerned about black and white, but obviously, and nobody go listen to a black woman during them days. So obviously, it was the whites that were leading the movement, right? So they weren't really concerned about how the blacks were being treated at that time.
Okay.
They were concerned about their rights that they were fighting for. So they want to vote as well, because, you know, their husband votes, so what the fuck shouldn't we vote?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm not sure how concerned they were about the racial aspect of it.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then I think the racial aspect of it only mattered once the civil rights movement started coming up. So I mean, I don't know how much influence the first one had on black women themselves. You know what I mean? On white women, sure, everyone got to vote, but then there's the racial aspect of it.
Yeah. That's that second tier of complication.
Could they even vote? You know what I mean? Like, I think this was what, the 60s? It's the 60s. I think it was the 60s.
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was. I think it was in the 60s. So it's not long ago. Eh?
That's not long ago when you think about it, bro.
That's not long ago.
Yeah.
Those scars are still fresh.
Yeah.
Those are still fresh scars.